on digital radio, on the app, on your smart speaker, on Twitter, YouTube, Twitch.tv, and Facebook. The Sports Cast. Expect the unexpected.
The update presented by the Sports Cast.
All right, welcome to the Sportscast, February 10th, 2025. If you haven't yet, please subscribe in all our channels, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Apple Podcasts. You can also listen to us on your smart speaker. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave a rating and a review. It will help us out tremendously. We're also on online digital radio. You can listen to us there on the sportscast.net, our website, or you could get our app, the Sportscast for iOS. Also, follow us on X and Instagram at the Sportscast1. Super Bowl LIX is in the wraps. It was a blowout, if you can say. Some people were happy. Some people say I wanted a better show, even the halftime show. And all the way from Ohio, join us from the side of the road, Ken Madden. Welcome back to the Sportscast.
Yeah, good to be back. Yeah, we're on an offsite, secure location right now.
Secure location.
We made it.
So I told Dan, we have another co-host that comes on the Sportscast occasionally, sparingly, Andre Gisbert. He also lives in your home and your town, Canfield, Ohio.
Yeah, small world. I mean, what are the odds? That's crazy. I mean, I get, the whole Northeast Ohio, but to be from Canfield where I live, I mean, that's quite incredible.
What are the odds? And he told me that one of the supermarkets that I actually been in Michigan is that big one, Meijer,
yes. Yeah, they just opened right down the street from me here in town. Yeah.
Great supermarket.
Yeah.
I recommend it. I think it's like a Target Plus, I guess you can say, or Super Walmart, but nicer.
Absolutely. Yeah, we love it.
And he told me it's originally from Indiana. I thought it was originally from Michigan. So all props to Indiana.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure.
Well, Dan, how was your Super Bowl Sunday? Did you veg out? Did you eat wings? Did you eat pizza?
Yeah,
I took my diet.
I actually usually buy wings, but I made a New Year's resolution I was going to cook more to my wife. So I decided to make some chicken wings in the oven. I had a recipe, and I made some queso dip, and both turned out great. Saved some money. So that was good.
I actually went to a restaurant with two friends of mine. We've been going and watching Super Bowls for the past couple of years, so it's becoming a tradition. And we went to this restaurant. We thought it would be full, but it wasn't that packed. We got there early, but we could have got there like 1 hour before the game and be fine. And we had wings. We had the whole three entrees: the appetizer, the main dish, the main course, and then dessert. We top it off with cake and ice cream.
Nice.
But the game pretty much ended at halftime. But before we get into the game, we got a word from our sponsors. Are you ready to accelerate your wealth and secure your family's legacy? Introducing VictorRocho.com, your cash acceleration insurance expert. At VictorRocho.com, we bring accountability to wealth creation inspired by Proverbs 13:22. Your family's financial future matters to us. Experience the power of debt-free life, our innovative insurance solution that not only protects but builds cash value over time. As your cash value grows, say goodbye to debt incrementally and watch your savings soar for a worry-free retirement, all without spending any extra money. With debt-free life, you're not just securing your future, you are creating a lasting legacy for your family, achieving financial freedom and retiring with tax-favored income. Visit VictorRocho.com for more information. That's VictorRocho.com, where accountability meets prosperity. Your greatest asset is you. And you can catch Victor Rocho on Thursday nights on the Jersey Boys Sports Talk. But before we get into our Super Bowl recap, let's go into the top headlines going on. Eagles offensive coordinator who won last night, who had a tremendous game plan, Kellen Moore, is expected to be hired as the New Orleans Saints head coach. This was long coming. The Saints said they were going to wait till after the Super Bowl meeting. Kellen Moore was going to get hired. Dan, you think it's a good hire by the Saints? Dan, you cannot hear me. Hello? Dan Madden, I think your audio went off. Maybe you can fix it. We'll play a commercial, and maybe we'll just get this sorted out. In the rhythm of life, every tick of the clock holds a story. But how do we make every moment count? Meet Start Time, the simplest way to log, track, and optimize your time right at your fingertips. Start Time is designed for simplicity. With just a tap, begin logging any activity. And when you're done, hit stop. It's that easy. Wherever you are, Start Time knows. Our location detection feature automatically tags your logs, giving context to every second spent. Keep your day in perspective with a log tab. Every task, every moment, neatly organized and easy to review. Log, track, and optimize your time with a tap. Ready to make every moment count? Start with Start Time. Available now for iOS. All right, Dan. Let's see if Dan can hear me right now. Can you hear me now, Dan? Dan Madden? No? Can you hear me? I guess not. Dan? Super Bowl Sunday. Okay, we'll just talk about what's going on in the NFL. So Dan says he hears me, then we will bring him in. So Kellen
Yeah,
Moore is it
sorry,
now I can hear
I'm
you.
back.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry, I
you-
had an issue.
no, it's okay. So Kellen Moore has been hired. Well, not being hired. He's expected to be hired, announced this week by the Saints. Kellen Moore had a great game yesterday. Great offense. You think this was a good hire by the Saints?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the game plan he had, just aggressive mindset. When you thought that they were going to be conservative there at the end of the half, I mean, he had a great play call to go up another score. So yeah, for sure, he's young, innovative mind. So yeah, I think he'll be a good fit.
Yeah, pretty excited about this hire, and I'm sure New Orleans too. They need a new beginning. Obviously, they're dealing with a lot of contract issues, so we'll see what happens. Other news, probably before the Super Bowl, uh, there's been news from the Jets camp. They're going to move on from quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Your thoughts on this? Of course, Aaron Rodgers said it would be up to the GM and the new coach, both new GM and coach, if they want to keep it on with the New York Jets. But this is might be an end for Aaron in New York.
Yeah, no, I think we saw it coming. I mean, just the way the season was going, it seemed like his time in New York was up, and ultimately it'll be interesting to see if he wants to go to another team or he's going to go in retirement. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him next year.
Yeah, and a couple of teams that need a quarterback, maybe a bridge quarterback or someone just in place. I know Tennessee is looking for something going on there, so and possibly the Raiders as well. So there's some options for Aaron, but he does have a bad Achilles, so it'd be a tough decision. Also, Havante Adams is he's also being moved on from the Jets as well. So that is significant. Maybe those two will rejoin somewhere else. We'll find out. 49ers have gave Debo Samuel permission to seek a trade. Uh, Debo was an explosive wide receiver a couple of years ago. This past season, not so much. But your thoughts on this, Dan?
Yeah, somewhat surprising. I mean, the dip off that we saw from him, because honestly, I mean, prior the offense kind of went through him. I mean, the explosive plays. I mean, when he wasn't in the game, that their offense wasn't the same. So I'm not sure what happened with the dip off, but sounds like they're not going to have to worry about that anymore because he wants a trade. So
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Let's go to the NBA news. Anthony Davis is expected to miss multiple weeks after suffering a left abductor strain in his Mavericks debut. He just got traded to the Mavericks from Los Angeles. Your thoughts on this? He'll miss the All-Star game for sure.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate. I mean, he did have a good first game there, when he was in, over 20 points, and you definitely could see his impact he would have. So it's unfortunate to catch a break like that, to miss that much time.
Yeah. AD, we'll see what happens. Do you think that team will do well with him on the team, or you think they're not going to move the needle much?
I mean, I think long or short term, I think Dallas got the better end of that trade. Just because I just I think that the Luka trade, I just don't know how he's gonna be able to play with LeBron. I mean, they're both ball hawks. They both like to have the ball in their hands. It seems like the Lakers was more of a long-term plan. To after LeBron decides to retire, Luka would be the face. But I think short term, I think Dallas got the better deal as long as AD stays healthy. Now, who knows if this is going to be a lingering injury or what.
I've been hearing just rumors. Debo to Pittsburgh Steelers. Will that be a good spot?
Well, you got to see who's going to be the quarterback. I mean, that would be the first equation for Debo. Who's going to be behind center? Because obviously we saw the other headline that Russell Wilson is no longer probably going to be with the team. So they're going to go with Fields potentially, or are they going to bring someone else like a Kirk Cousins or some other free agent?
Yeah, quite something. Back to the NBA. Legendary Hubie Brown called his NBA game on Sunday in Milwaukee. He is a broadcaster with TBN. I mean, sorry, not TBN, TNT. He is also a retired professional basketball player, coach, and now a retired broadcaster. I'm sure he's called a few Cavs games.
Yeah, no, I always enjoyed listening to his calls, and it'd definitely be missed hearing his voice for sure.
Quite something.
His play-by-play.
Yeah, I wish he would stay till the playoffs, but I guess he just couldn't do it.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Luka Doncic, as we were talking about before, will make his Laker debut tonight, 10:30 on ESPN. Danny, will you be staying up for this game?
Well, the Cavs are on tonight, so probably that'll be the tail end of that. So I'll probably flip in just to watch a quarter or so, but that's a little past my bedtime. I'm usually in bed by 11, so we'll catch some of it anyway.
Quite something. Anyways, before we hit our recap, here is a word from our sponsors. Introducing NumList, your ultimate solution for effortless list creation and management. Whether you're organizing your grocery shopping, planning a project, or keeping track of tasks, NumList makes it simple. With just a few taps, you can create lists quickly and efficiently without any hassle. Store all your lists in one place, accessible anytime, anywhere. Keep track of the total number of items in each list so you never lose count again. Categorize your lists and items seamlessly for easy retrieval. Enjoy a clean, user-friendly interface that makes list management a breeze. Download NumList today and experience the easiest way to create, store, and manage your list. Well, they have it. NumList, one of our sponsors. All right, Dan, are you ready to recap Super Bowl LIX?
Yep, let's do it.
Let's get this on the show. What a game for the Eagles. Not so much for the Chiefs, but it was a whole different animal for everything. First play of the evening was Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts scoring a 1-yard quarterback sneak, capping a 7-play, 16-yard drive. Were you feeling Eagles were going to win this game?
Yeah, I mean, they just came out. They just came out a little more aggressive. I think I sent a message. The first play the Chiefs had the ball. I didn't think that was a PI. I know there was some chatter online. You did, but ultimately, it really didn't matter in this case. Starting off, Philly set the tone early.
Then, second quarter, only one touchdown in the first quarter. Second quarter, kicker Jake Elliott extended the Eagles' lead with a 48-yard field goal. Then, rookie cornerback Cooper DeJean intercepted a pass from the Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes and returned it for 38 yards for a touchdown, Dan.
Yeah, I heard yesterday was his birthday, DeJean. So,
it was.
I mean, that was a great birthday present for sure. I mean, the pressure that Philadelphia was putting on Mahomes, I mean, they had him rattled all night. He was seeing ghosts out there. You wouldn't seem to think that'd be something that Mahomes, you would say that in a sentence with Mahomes, but he just could not get comfortable yesterday for sure.
That was 17-0. Then, second quarter, Hurts connected with wide receiver A.J. Brown for a 12-yard touchdown pass following another interception by the Eagles defense right before the half.
Yeah, so the possession before that, it looks like A.J. Brown was getting into it with the coach. I don't know if you saw that. He got a little upset with the call or just the communication, and the coach was calming him down. Well, he got redemption on that possession and got the touchdown. And then he did Jameis Winston told him to do his celebration, the cha-cha slide, and he ended up doing it. I saw highlights of them talking about it. So
then there was a halftime show. Dan, you want to have a brief opinion over the halftime show?
Mixed reviews. I mean, I didn't think it was that great. I mean, I'm not real familiar with a lot of Kendrick Lamar songs. So if you weren't, I mean, I thought he'd have a little bit more cameos in there. Serena Williams, I guess, made a cameo, and she used to date Drake. There was a lot of hate going against Drake, like hidden meanings in the lyrics. So there was a lot of underlying messaging in the show. But I didn't really care for it, but a lot of the social media did, a lot didn't. So,
Dan, you had a better explanation than I had prepared. So good job on that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's go with the third quarter. Kicker Elliott for the Eagles added a 29-yard field goal to increase the lead. It was 27-0. That looked pretty. It was going further. Then Hurts threw a 46-yard touchdown pass to wide receiver Devontae Smith. He got a share of the game. Another Alabama, quarterback to wide receiver there.
Yeah, any hopes that Mahomes and the Chiefs were going to be able to rebound after halftime? You kind of thought it was over, but you just can't bet against Mahomes. You expected a comeback. They were down last year, but obviously, if they gave up another score, it was pretty much over. So it was over first possession, of the second half pretty much. So they just couldn't have any answers. And surprisingly, they couldn't run the ball either. They shut down pretty much for the most part Barkley.
Yeah, Barkley.
Which is shocking.
Big time. He only was limited to 31 yards and 12 carries before halftime. That was very little. Let's go in the first score of the Chiefs. The Chiefs responded with a 24-yard touchdown pass from Mahomes to wide receiver Xavier Worthy. Where has he been? However, the 2-point conversion attempt failed. It was just 34-6. Little too late. Looks like Dan is.
Yeah, I mean, they couldn't get Worthy. I mean, he was the flash, to get those quick heaters, quick passes to get in space, and they just couldn't get enough time. They should have went to that a little earlier on the quick passes. to help with the rush, and it was just a little too late for those plays.
Then Jake Elliott in the fourth quarter, he had more action than the Kansas City Chiefs kicker. He scored 2 field goals in the fourth quarter. The first one was a 48-yard field goal, and then he had another 50-yard field goal in the dome. Good job for him. And then Kansas City Chiefs with another touchdown connected with wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins for a 7-yard touchdown pass, followed by a successful 2-point conversion to wide receiver Justin Watson. But again, it was very too little too late. It was 14-40. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, actually, I missed the tail end of it. I'm kind of tired, so I wasn't going to stick around to watch the garbage time. I mean, they had it won, so anything that happened there at the tail end, I can't really speak on other than it made the score look a little better than it actually was.
Dan, I don't blame you. I left the restaurant right at the start of the fourth quarter, so I don't blame you there. But yeah, the Chiefs were scored towards the end. That's it. Another pass from Mahomes to Worthy, 50-yard touchdown pass, with another successful 2-point conversion to Hopkins. But it was too little too late. The final score was 22-40. Eagles win their number 2 Super Bowl of their franchise history. Dan, what a story. Being the Kansas City Chiefs, they were almost going to get to that 3-peat. What's your thoughts over these Eagles? Did you see the Eagles win the Super Bowl?
No, it's just because we've talked about it on past shows. Is you can't bet against Mahomes. They find a way to win it in situations, and it just felt like it wasn't going to happen early on. I mean, some plays, that Mahomes, when he felt pressure, he'd be able to step in and make that run for that first down, and they just had a spy on him. I mean, they had an answer for everything. I mean, they were tackling him, and you just felt like they weren't going to be able to do that this year. I mean, you felt that early on. It's just like the plays that Mahomes would make. I mean, he was just rattled, which you typically haven't seen him get rattled. And they found a way. They saw something in the tape, and they had a game plan defensively to get to the quarterback. And once they got up, they just kept bringing the heat because, you knew that they took the run out of the game. You knew they were dropping back and passing. And it was a recipe for disaster, for sure.
Yeah, one of my office colleagues here in the building, he was saying that the Eagles had a good game plan. They went out strong in the beginning because he said you don't want to be tight towards the end of the game, and who has the ball last. If the Chiefs have it, they were going to win. So they had a good game plan.
Yeah.
The Chiefs' game plan worked out with stopping Barkley, but Hurts was a solution.
Yeah,
he was passing more than a lot with like the previous games, and he won the MVP. Well deserved, right?
It hurts something, and they had other weapons. Hurts got the running game going with his legs too. So they didn't need Barkley to go crazy. They found other ways.
Nick Sirianni has another year left on his contract. He might have a extension in this offseason, Dan. Wow,
who would thought? I mean, they were ready to chase him out of town last year, and who would think? Kind of like the college scenario, they were ready to chase Ryan Day out of the Ohio State after the Michigan loss. Now he got a $12 million extension a year. So winning championships changes everything, and people forget the past for sure.
There you have it. Eagles world champions. They're having the parade on Valentine's Day this Friday, so quite exciting. Dan, how would you rate the Super Bowl? It was not one of my favorites. It was a blowout, but how would you rate it?
I would have to say C. I mean, it was kind of neat seeing Taylor Swift get booed and Trump get cheered. That was probably my biggest highlight of the Super Bowl right there. So
I agree. That was definitely one of the biggest highlights, more than a halftime show. But yeah, the Eagles well deserved. They had a good game plan. The Chiefs, you think this is it? or do you think they'll have more in the tank? Because I think the Eagles has set the bar now, that measuring stick, and the Chiefs. I can tell they like the offense. They had the defense, but they like their offense, the weapons.
I mean, I haven't heard if Kelsey's going to be coming back or he really hasn't committed. I mean, there's some talk that, is he going to retire? That'll be interesting to see what happens there. But, I think, they'll make another run. But, I mean, I clearly think they need to look at this tape because, teams are going to look at this tape to as a recipe how to stop the Chiefs for sure. So they're going to have to figure some things out offensively because I don't think they're going to be able to win ugly all year next year.
Yeah, definitely. This is not the best Chiefs team we've seen in the past. They gotta straighten out what they have. I know Juju Schuster is in free agency this offseason, so we'll see what happens with the Chiefs. But yeah, you're right. They need more weapons, but the Eagles have set the measuring tone. Getting Saquon made the difference, didn't it?
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, all season long, he definitely brought him to the next level for sure. I don't think they would have been in the position they were without Saquon Barkley.
Wow, what a year! Dan did not predict the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. I did not predict them to win. I was thinking more the Chiefs, more than the Eagles, but the Eagles were knocking on the door for a while. So will they think winning again next year, back to back?
I think they would be favorites. I mean, I think they'd definitely have a shot. But again, I think some teams next year in the AFC are going to be tough too. I mean, I think the Bills. I mean, you have to believe that they have to get over the hump next year. Their window is going to be shrinking here.
Bills, Ravens are definitely up there knocking on the door, and of course you got the Texans. So we'll see what's going on. NFL does not end yesterday or this week. The offseason is as exciting. Who's going to be traded? Who is going to be signed, renewed? Now Debo has announced he's going to be traded. There's going to be more of a trading market this offseason. So, and then of course you got the combine, you got the NFL draft. A lot of teams looking for quarterbacks, new players to to get that roster going, like the Giants and the Titans, and perhaps the Patriots. So, Dan, how would you rate this NFL season so far? I mean,
I think it was exciting season. I mean, I'd give it a B. I mean, I think there's a lot of good teams. Teams that you wouldn't expect to make the run. It was neat to see another team other than the Chiefs winning it. But overall, really good season, some good games. Officiating needs to get better. I mean, I think we would all agree. I mean, a lot of questionable calls this year. So hopefully they can clean that up next year.
Always any improvement always gets better. NFL season, I thought it was a good season. I'm glad Eagles won. I was, everyone here in the sportscast, don't bet against Mahomes, but Mahomes is beatable. And I was hearing someone saying, the Chiefs are not at the Patriots level yet or ever be.
Yeah.
Who knows? Anyways, Dan, NBA tonight predictions, Warriors at Milwaukee. Who you got?
I like the Warriors. I think they'll find a way to get it done tonight.
Yeah, with Jimmy Butler looked good in his debut, so it looks positive.
Yep.
We'll see what happens. And Dan will be back because the NBA, the Cavs are hot. So Dan's not going to miss the Cavs or on the sports.
Absolutely.
Dan, what's the best way to reach you online to talk to you about where to go shopping in Canfield, Ohio?
That's right. You can reach me on X, Danimal2478, or Facebook under Dan Madden.
There you have it. You can reach us at the Sportscast1 or the Sportscast1 on X and Instagram. We'll be live tweeting throughout the off season. Any trades, any names, we'll be there first. Well, Dan, a pleasure pleasure for you coming on and recapping every weekend of the NFL.
Yeah, it's fun. I always look forward to it and can continue to roll back hopefully next year and be on talking NBA here down the stretch. And then, of course, see what happens with Myles Garrett this offseason. Maybe we'll get together, talk draft and all that.
Where do you think he'll go real quick?
I don't know. I mean, the Browns say that they're not trading him, but ultimately I think they're going to trade him. I saw something that they might the hypothetical that they can trade him for or to the Washington Redskins for
I've heard
their
that too,
first
yeah.
round draft pick. If they were going to do it, I think that would be the place just to get another a draft early draft pick and a couple other picks. If they're going to do it, I think that's the way to go.
I've heard Detroit too.
Yeah.
Stay in the Midwest. That or the
Yep.
Patriots. I've been hearing Patriots, Commanders, or the Lions. So,
Yep.
we'll see.
see.
Anyways, Dan, thanks for coming on, and this
Yeah.
was your update.